We're here at Where 2.0 with Patrick Meier of Ushahidi. He's bringing a different perspective to the show, a more humanitarian agency perspective rather than a strictly technical, byte-driven perspective, which kind of raises a question. You know, how did you get started in this, and what brings you to this kind of geo mapping, where excitement?
Well, very good question, Simon. Basically, I do come from the humanitarian world, so I've been involved in the field of humanitarian response and crisis early warning, crisis response, disasters, and so on, and working for the UN in a number of different places and other organizations in Sudan and East Timor, and realizing more and more that as a community, as a humanitarian community, we were 5-10 years behind in terms of adopting these new technologies that were becoming increasingly available. And the vast majority of my colleagues still thinking that email and Excel spreadsheets was state of the art in a way for technology. So I saw a huge opportunity and very quickly started to explore this other incredible space of technology community and beyond. Just a few quick words on Ushahidi.
Yeah.
We're a small non-profit African tech company, and we develop these innovative free and open source platforms for crowdsourcing of crisis information and then dynamic mapping of this information. And we took the lead in Haiti, so literally just a couple hours after the earthquake happened, when I learned about it on CNN, immediately touched base with the Ushahidi tech team and basically said we need a role, we need to do an install and start customizing the platform. Knew that it was a 7.0 earthquake in a context like Haiti. It was basically just the worst possible combination in terms of vulnerable population. So within a few hours, an hour or two even after that first phone call, we had a basic platform online, and we were starting to map. It was getting customized. We added indicators for disaster response. We partnered with the UN on identifying what the appropriate categories and indicators to map would be for the disaster response operations, and continued basically for the 4 weeks on the tech side, adding features on the fly. Really, every day the platform looked somewhat different. There were new features, it was further customized, it was further streamlined, and so on. And in many ways, we were told by a number of organizations that this whole community, the crisis mappers community coming around with obviously OpenStreetMap and all the usual suspects coming together, had really revolutionized humanitarian response in a way that we'd really never seen. And to answer your question, one of the most, something that was completely unprecedented was the use of SMS. We were basically able to set up a shortcode, a free text message number, so that anybody in Haiti could text their location and urgent needs. And then we were crowdsourcing the translation of that in near real time, and then crowdsourcing the mapping geolocation of that in near real time, which meant that for the first time in history, we were able to have two-way communication with the disaster-affected community. And that is what ultimately went a long way to saving many, many lives in Haiti, really getting text messages that then the Marine Corps and FEMA, the Coast Guard would take and literally send out the choppers to go and save people. We were getting at one point thousands of text messages every day from Haiti, from people who were really in a bad situation. But what's really telling is that if you looked at the slum areas, we were not mapping any of the text messages that may have come in from the slum areas, because we weren't able to find street addresses and GPS coordinates because they're literally not on the map. There's a whole gray area of a population that's already marginalized. And if they're telling us we're at the street in this slum area, it's not on the map, and we can't put them on the map. So that's why I'm really excited to work with OpenStreetMap and a local organization called Quartier par Quartier, which means neighborhood by neighborhood, where we can do this kind of work and we can literally help those vulnerable communities be on the radar and on the map of the humanitarian and the development community. What I'd love to see is if we can really, go beyond just network sourcing, but really try and do crowdsourcing, open crowdsourcing, but even take it one step further. Something that I've coined, I think, maybe, called Turk sourcing. I haven't seen anybody else use it. I'm really, really interested in the power and the potential of mechanical Turk services.
Okay. Taking
that and the intersection between mechanical Turk services and Ushahidi crowdsourcing crisis information. Because ultimately the most two tedious tasks that we had in Haiti from the mapping perspective was monitoring this ecosystem of information in near real time and then extracting the appropriate event data information for Haiti and then geolocating it. Sometimes we'd have a name of an orphanage somewhere in Jacmel in Haiti, And it takes us an hour to find the GPS coordinates for this because it's not on the map, it's an informal kind of orphanage and so on. What I'd love to find out, and maybe put out a challenge to the Where2O community, because if anybody can do it, you guys can, is how we can translate this entire process of media monitoring as well as geolocation and turn it into a Mechanical Turk type service application. So we can really just break down the tasks in very easy human intelligence tasks that you can then literally farm out and not require prior training, right? Or GPS and experience or what have you, right? So that we can really go from net sourcing of 300 individuals, which is critical, and that's never going to go away. That's always going to be important, to 300,000 using Mechanical Turk type applications, right? That would be my dream.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. Well, let's end with that dream. Let's see what we can do to get there.
Thank
you very much.
Thanks, Simon. Appreciate it.
Great.